couldn't imagine my son being a depressed person because he was always up and about, laughing and smiling. He was just walking weird across the street, crossing the street at an angle.
We have a diagnosis. You have multiple sclerosis.
At least we can postpone him being in a wheelchair. And the doctor just looked at us point blank and said, no, he will be in a wheelchair soon.
We want problems that are consistent.
Even normal people have patterns that aren't quite as repeatable.
It was frustrating. Multiple sclerosis was taking over my life. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that doesn't happen.
When you think your life is bad, think of situations like this.
We all have different struggles, but they're more similar than we think. Because I didn't have this disability 7 years ago, I know how when you pass by somebody in a wheelchair, you see them, but they're almost invisible to you. I know what it is when you're not looking at me or when you're trying to avoid my gaze or whatever it is, because I was on that side of the fence at one time too.
When he was early stages of MS, he had a cane, he could go upstairs. As the film goes on, his access to businesses, locations, decreases. So in the last 2 years, he's been really thinking about ways to alleviate this effect.
New York is one of these cities that it's nice for accessibility in some ways, but it's really hard because it's such an old city. There's not a lot of places with ramps. And that one step to get inside is gonna kill you if you're in a scooter. I'd be like, yeah, let's go out for a drink and I'll meet you here. And then I'll get to the place and then find out that there's a step and I can't get inside. And then my night's over. This is one place we're not gonna get in. It was becoming more of a pain to actually go out, and my world was becoming my computer interface. When I would get online and look for places that are accessible, I'd go on Yelp, it would say wheelchair accessible. I'd see yes, I'd go to the actual place, and I'd find out that there were like 4 tables that were accessible and they were all taken, and that's it.
Sometimes places don't know what their accessibility is.
Yeah, we're accessible, but I mean, we have like a step or two.
Accessible is a ramp, is an elevator, is an accessible washroom, and there's no real qualitative method of measuring these statistics. So we decided to create a project entitled AXS Map.
It's a database of all the handicap accessible places within your area. So you can access it on the web, through a mobile phone. But you can quickly just find out which places are easy to get into if you're somebody with a physical disability. We actually had this up and running for a little bit, but it was using our own database.
So I'll do the yield annotation markup. Okay.
One of the things we really honed in here at the Producers Institute is like, wait, you don't quite have to recreate all of Yelp. What you can do is just annotate it. They actually used a browser extension. I mean, this is pretty much new to browsers in the last 5 years or so. So it's almost like the web page loads, then the browser on top of that adds extra content.
It'll show exactly what features it has: ramps, wheelchair access, elevators, and accessible washrooms. The website is great for planning. When you're on the ground, though, you need a different way. It's a mobile application which will run on Android and iPhone.
Stay there traveling around Manhattan, passing by all these places with stairs. They can just pull up their phone. It's GPS located, so it'll find their location.
They can search what's around them. They can filter by what accessible needs they have.
And they can actually look at what other people have mentioned about it. So we want to have people comment, give feedback. They're going to be able to say, this place is great. This place has accessible washrooms. The menus are really large so you can see them. It's going to create a rating system. It's heralding all the places where accessibility has been thought about. We're saying that there's a population that will come to your business if you just make it accessible. We're also going to get user videos.
Yelp told me this was accessible on the website, but now there's a big step and I can't get in with my scooter.
It's going to create dialogue. We're not just creating a database, but we're also bringing together a community.
We have our own nonprofit society entitled When I Walk Inc., whose mandate is to deliver media advocacy and resources for those with disabilities.
Our ultimate goal is ambitious. We'd like 100% of businesses, buildings, locations, services to be accessible in the US and then globally. That's the dream.
We're trying to make this app scalable into a place where it's usable by the entire disability community.
There's a lot of people like myself right now, I'm having trouble with my hands, and I can't really get in my phone and type that easily, and it gets frustrating. Augmented reality means that somebody can just hold up their phone on any given block and it'll show any places that are accessible in their vicinity. It's like gold.
We really need on-the-ground support from the community to be able to enter information in this app because it's a user-generated application. We need people to take a stand for what they believe in accessibility and create social change.
Thank you so much for watching the video. Check the video on the right, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.